Okay. Hello. So I'm David. I'm here with
Ted Lee from
and
Alliance Fencing.
yeah, and so we're here at his house, and he is an armor.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us.
So been doing this for about 20 years,
Okay.
close to 20 years. 2007, I started, and love the sport.
Okay. This is yours.
Oh, I
No.
better turn it off.
No worries. Okay. So anyway, how did you become an armor?
Actually, it's from my coach and Coach Waldak. He
Mhm.
actually, when we started the business itself, he said that, hey, you're an engineer. You know people in China. Why don't you just bring it in and develop certain things? So I said, okay. And then he said, why don't you study the sport? So Dan Deshane is one of my mentor. He's fantastic, and I said that he's no longer with us. So and he trained me, and also my coach Voldak did train me quite a bit. So and I got to love the sport, and that's where I am today.
What weapon was it that you fenced?
I fence Ape,
Okay.
but basically that was a saber club. Dallas Fencers Club is a saber club, but then we have a Russian coach, so I was under her. I don't remember her name, so it's been a while.
Okay. All right. Um, Voldic was a saber coach, but you fenced epee there.
Yes,
Okay. What was that like?
Ape, you get to stab people.
Okay. All right. All right.
Saber, you get to slash people.
All right. All right. And did you go into being armor right away, or was it like a ramp up time?
It's
Or
a ramp up time and so on. I started doing a lot of rewiring for
okay.
Ape, and then eventually I start. Then people got to know in the North Texas division.
Yeah.
They actually said, "Hey, look, you can wire foil also." So I said, "Okay, well, I'll wire foil." So that's how we started, and then eventually I got into repairing rails or the Uman rails, the Favaro rails, the PBT rails, and I started studying studying the equipment, how the equipment works, and what needs to be done. And then I moved on to repairing skull boxes or troubleshooting skull boxes for competition.
Okay. All right. And for those that don't know, Ted is not only a fencer and armor; he's also a vendor. So how long have you been a vendor?
2007,
A long time.
a long time.
How did you get into becoming a vendor? So what fencer to armor to vendor?
Actually, I became yeah, in a way, yeah. And because my coach said that, hey, look, the products which you're getting is not really good quality, and we got it from some big companies, and we the quality is not that good. So eventually, I partner when I was starting um, my own company, Alliance Fencing said, why don't you become a partner with us instead of starting your own? So and we became Alliance Fencing.
Mhm.
And during Alliance Fencing is very innovative. We actually do look at material. We test a lot of things. We've been through a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. We try different material, different design, and so on. So we have a lot of samples from all over the world, and we tried that, and eventually we came up with a winning thing. But it's not so much of the product; it is more of customer service, because a lot of fencers are not very educated. They say, "Oh yeah, this is good. This brand is good. That brand is good."
Mhm.
I said, "Why is it good?" They have no idea because my coach says so, or someone says so, or um, somebody says so, but they actually do not know the material, how the material comes about, how the wood weaving and so on. So they do not know. So for Alliance Fencing, when I started the company or joined the company. I said, look, education is very important to the fencer because people have no idea what they're buying. They just buy, okay, because of this, we'll just buy it. But for me, I want to educate the parents, the students, and because knowledge is king. We all heard that. So by knowing what you're buying, you become a smarter buyer and a smarter fencer.
Can you give us like an example? Like take a I don't know, a jacket or a grip. What can you give us like an example of something that you guys went through testing the stuff to find out like what was the best or what got the best result? How long did it take? How long was that process? What was it like?
So during the time, the early days, we always say cotton is good. Jacket, cotton is good because cotton absorbs sweat. You know, your perspiration and so on, it absorbs. So it takes away from the body. But cotton also absorbs the water, the sweat from your body, but it doesn't wicks it away. So it gets heavier and heavier, right? And eventually the pores of the cotton, the water will block the breathable. It's no longer breathable because there's water on it. So some people might disagree, but that's how it is. And whereas the new material which we started, we use Adidas material, and from there it takes the water and it wicks it away. So your body breathes better with all this technology.
I didn't know that. So you're saying you use like the shoe company Adidas, right? They have like a patented material that you guys use, and it wicks away all the moisture.
Yes.
And that's in the jackets.
It's in the jacket.
Is it in the underarm protectors too? And
yes.
What about the glove?
The glove, the Adidas don't make it. We buy actually because of
that's cool.
Example. Right now a lot of like your Saber, you need to have Kevlar.
Yeah.
Before that, we don't need it, but because of all the accidents in World Cup and Olympics and so on, it's required today because it becomes dangerous. But if you follow the rules of the being safe, fencing is actually pretty safe.
Yeah.
You know, but
it's
if you
right
don't
underneath ping pong. For those that don't know, in the list of like risk of sports, there's ping pong and then there's fencing. It's like way down at the risk factor. It's super safe.
Yeah, it's very safe. So, but people choose not to follow rules.
Yeah.
You know, they choose not to wear the pastron, which they
yeah.
supposed to wear is to save their life, but they choose not to.
Yeah.
So they get injured, and or the mask doesn't fit, and you become like a Taco Bell dog, you know. And then when you start fencing and moving, the mask can come out, and the blade can come through the throat. So people don't understand that. They think, oh yeah, it's loose, it's good, I want it to be comfortable. But then you risk the factor of being injured. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know we've had a lot of conversations ourselves about like the different manufacturers and the various differences and stuff like that. So I know you actually hold a couple patents too.
Yes,
right?
I hold a patent. Yes.
Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, I actually hold a patent on the clip.
Do you have an example maybe we can show?
Yes, I do have an example. Let me go.
Okay. Oh, you can walk across. It's not a big deal.
So basically, the pattern which we have.
First off, what is this? Like
this is a mascot. Okay, mascot. So we use it for foil, and we use it for saber. Now for épée fences, if you want to buy one, sure, I'll sell it to you, but you don't need it. So foil and saber this is what we use it for.
Okay.
And basically, the pattern includes two things. If you see a hole down here,
show us how it works.
So basically, it's holding the springs. So it is
the clip so what are they're clips and you squeeze them, and this end goes inside like there's a tab on the inside of a mask, and then the other one goes at a tab on the back of a lame. And so that way in the mask there's like it's called a bib. It's a protective area across the neck, and some of it has a conductive material, and that has to do with the scoring machines and how we keep score. So this clips, one of these ends clips to a mask, and the other one clips to our what's called a lame, which is like a vest. And okay, sorry. Anyway, that's
Let me just shut down my phone.
all right.
Okay, so basically, what a lot of times this is a standard clip which doesn't have a hole. The problem with this is the spring. After a while, it can come out. Okay, so once this comes out, it falls out, and the whole these two pieces will break open, and then it's useless. So the way we did it is that we punch a hole which creates a lip inside, and we put a spring into the lip so it doesn't move. So
it wraps around over the coil of the spring and
yeah,
holds it in place.
the coil actually sits on
Yeah.
the lip,
Yeah.
which doesn't let it move. So I said, this is something we did. And the other thing is, a lot of times people turn this edge, the holder, and it does come out. A lot of cheaper manufacturer, they don't even twist it, they just fold it in.
Yeah.
And then after a while it breaks. Whereas our pattern itself, we actually,
It's like a rivet.
it's not a rivet, it's we fold it in.
Oh, you fold it in.
Yeah, that's another.
Oh, I see it. I see it. It's it's like a joint. The hook's in place.
Yeah, so this one will not fall off.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we did. I hold the pattern for this.
That's cool.
So we designed this. So it lasts a lot longer. It clips harder than this one. If you can feel it.
It's about twice as hard to clip this one than this one, and just from first glance, one looks like is it a stainless steel? Is that what this is?
This is stainless steel.
This is stainless steel. What is this one?
This is just metal. It will rust. And
Okay.
The reason why we use stainless steel is so that it doesn't rust the lame.
Okay.
It clips onto the lame.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the things.
There's also in the coil itself. There's more space in this one, and that's why this one's harder to press. There's more coils here to resist. Is there anything different about the actual wire?
Yes, we actually use we're not using regular wire like a lot of vendors does. So basically, if I pull this, this one will break.
Okay.
And since you're here, why don't you pull this as hard as you can?
Okay, you're gonna embarrass me, but okay. Let's see here. As hard as I can?
As hard as you can. You're not gonna break it.
No, I'm not gonna break it.
Okay, because what we're using in this wire, we're using aircraft, you know where your pedals are.
Yeah.
The pedals itself. This wire controls the pedal, the rudder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the tail thing.
The
on
tail
the,
thing.
yeah.
This is what we're using. It's about 400 to 500 pounds of pressure in order for you to break it.
So it's way over engineered.
It's over engineered.
So what is the lifespan of something like this versus something like this?
This is forever.
Okay.
It will not. It will not break.
Okay.
So it's like I mean I will not say it will not break, but
yeah, you're not gonna break it.
You're not gonna break it unless you cut it.
Yeah.
If you cut it, then obviously it's going to break.
Yeah.
But if you just normally go and tear, it's not. It's going to outlast this for long.
Okay.
Maybe 100 times or 200 times. I don't know, 1,000 times.
Okay.
I don't know, but this one you cannot. Okay, and a lot of times when fencers are fencing, the clips keeps coming out.
Yeah. Or they get excited and they rip off the mask, right? And it pulls on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it does break, and the spring itself, this hole actually holds it in. The spring will not come out.
Okay. Is there anything else you have? Don't you have like a body cord too, or something?
Body cord, we actually redesigned the wires.
Okay.
And but I don't hold a patent because we took a bit too long because there's a time period for patents.
Okay.
We took a bit too long to test it, and the statute of limitation is over, so we cannot patent
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. So, do you have any other new ideas coming down the road, or any things you plan on improving, or bringing to market, anything like that?
I mean, we're always looking at body cords because a lot of fences itself, they say, hey, I'm buying a Italian brand body cord. It costs so expensive, and it still breaks.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we thought about different wiring system and so on, and that will last for value of money. But a lot of times people say, hey, look, I can buy something cheaper and I can buy 3 of it, and do I want to pay so much more money? So there's a balance of cost and opportunities, right?
Can you give us a cost difference between something like this and this?
This is $18.
This is the good one.
The good one.
$18.
And
okay.
this is ranges from $6 to $10 depending
where you
on
get it.
the brand.
Got it. 6 to 10. So you're looking about, a 3 to 80% difference in price. Right?
Yeah, about
something like that.
About
depending where you get
40 depends on where you get it.
Yeah, but we're not
Okay.
talking like a 3 times difference of price on $100 or $200 or $1,000.
No.
We're
it's
talking
not.
like $8. Yeah.
$8 and but then this one, lasts for basically a whole fencing life.
Yeah.
And you don't need to buy another one. But the problem is I can say, oh, this is great, this is last forever, but I cannot guarantee you that people will not take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you say, oh yeah, I lose it, there's no so
Okay. So what manufacturers or brands do you represent?
basically we right now currently we have 2.
Okay.
Actually we have 2 or 3. Depends on PBT is one of our suppliers. We are their vendors down here in the United States, and we also have a Chinese brand like every other Chinese company is the bigger one.
Yeah.
And so they all manufacture in China, bring it over. Depends on the quality and so on. Then for jackets with Caminari, which is Italian, which is a very good brand.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit of differences? Like, so you said Cameroon is Italian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Hungary from? Or I just said it. PVT is from Hungary.
Yes, PBT is for Hungary.
Yeah. Okay.
And PBT is one of the international, very famous brand.
Yeah.
One of the top brands in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The way they do things, they think about it before they actually send it out into the market. They do a lot of research. The way the company does it, and it's fantastic. They just don't come out, oh yeah, we're going to make more money, let's do this. No, they think about it before a product is going to go into the market. This is a great family business. I mean, the PBT actually represents a lot of international fencers. A lot of actually look at we're filming this based on Olympics. The Ukrainian team won gold, right, in saber. They're all sponsored by PBT, and Aaron Salagi is the saber fencer. I mean, he's been 3 times World Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Before he was sponsored, he was using PBT because of the quality. So it's a great. The quality is fantastic.
For new fencers, get into sport, or let's say fencers that have been doing it for 6 months, and they're not sure if this is what they want to do for their sport. What do you suggest they should get? Like, what kind should they buy? Like a PBT, a cheaper brand. I mean, what should they buy?
So the way I see it is this: when you are not sure to buy things, buy the cheapest, just for protection. I mean, I'm not saying that the Chinese brands are no good. The Chinese brands they have to go through U.S. fencing. We have to have a regulation and so on for safety. Safety is important, like I stated earlier. And Chinese brands are okay. You just buy the cheapest. And fencing, usually you need a mask, a weapon, and a glove. Basically, the mask is actually for, you can borrow from the club if you want to, but it's hygiene. It's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
all hygiene.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a club.
Yeah.
Do you wash your mask?
It's impossible to wash them every day after every student. It's not.
Not possible.
I
So
don't know if any club has probably ever washed their stuff. I will say this: we have a washing machine. We will wash ours regularly. I can't say that it's in the back. I can't say the same for every club.
so mask, we don't wash it.
Yeah.
I mean, you if you do wash it, you can use a dishwasher, but cold cycle.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because
but
of the glues. Because of the glues.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you people don't wash masks,
Yeah.
and you do it for hygiene. Glove, you can wash it, but not many people wash the glove. So it's also hygiene. And weapon is just a personal item. You know, say, oh yeah, I have a weapon. I can grab it and practice with it during off times when I'm not at the club.
Mhm.
So I can practice. So this is three things which we suggest. Basically hygiene and just fun to have a weapon to fence.
Yeah.
And you can practice because practice makes it
Perfect.
perfect, right?
Right.
If you don't practice, this is not free lunch. I cannot go in and just don't do anything. I say, oh yeah, I know everything. No, it's not like this.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that they are like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not. Fencing is not free lunch. It's you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, it doesn't work.
So, at what point do you think, like, when do you suggest someone get into the sport should start looking at buying their equipment right away? A month, 2 months, a year?
Go through the beginner's class first.
Okay.
Okay, and know something about fencing because through beginner's class, you will know whether I really want to do a sport or I don't want to do a sport.
Yeah.
Because if you say some people, you know, not every sport is for everyone. I mean, not every line is for everybody. So, and the way I see it is that it has to be. You need to want to do it in any sport. Doesn't matter is fencing, soccer, football, golf, or whatever. But the thing which I want to say about fencing will teach you decision making in life. You know, I have 2 kids. My daughter doesn't fence. My son fence. Today he's very, very successful. His decision making is, I said, almost perfect. Not perfect, almost perfect. He will think about it because fencing, when I'm facing you on guard, there's 2 things I need to know. Agree?
Yeah.
Attack or defend.
Yeah.
Now, if you go backwards, you have to, means you're defending, you better decide what defense you're going to use against my attack.
Right.
And that is a split second.
I think that's true. I can say this. From all my teammates when I was growing up, all of them that took fencing very seriously and excelled, let's say, to a certain level, whatever they pursued later on in life, they normally ended up the best or one of the best fairly quickly. So I'd have to agree with you on that as well.
Yeah.
So it does.
But
Yeah.
parents don't understand this. That's one thing. That's why we try to educate them as much as why fencing? Why are we doing fencing? Is it because I like to stab people? Or do I just want to give things away? You know, let's give points away because we are Santa Claus. You know.
Yeah.
So we were teaching them discipline. That's
Sure.
that's your job as a coach. You have to teach them discipline. What needs to be done? What the principles of it, what we have to do. So in life today, maybe right now they're young, they have no idea, but eventually what mistakes is more costly? Today's mistake or in the future mistakes where you have your career?
Right.
Which one it is?
Okay.
See, I'm for me at least, my daughter doesn't fence decision. She still have a husband to look
Okay.
after.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, let's say somebody has jumped into the fencing. They bought their beginner stuff. They know it's what they want to do. what should they do next as far as equipment's concerned?
They bought the equipment.
Well, that's the question. They have their cheap equipment. They notice it's starting to break a lot more. It's getting kind of a headache. Maybe they're starting to outgrow it by size, right? They've been fencing a couple years, whatever it is. At what point should they start to say, okay, I'm going to stop buying the cheap stuff. I'm going to invest more into it. Now, there's still a range within that. It doesn't mean go buy the most expensive thing, right? But
Yes.
I just want your take on this.
So basically, the equipment itself has this is America. We pay for the quality. Okay, the cheaper quality, obviously, it's going to break more.
Yeah.
Example, body cords. Okay, the Chinese body cord. It's a body cord. You still can use it, but it doesn't last that long because it's the way, the strength of it, the way the material, the way they use it, and the European body cord, which is more quiet, but it's more expensive.
Yeah.
But it lasts longer. The European body cords, there's no comparison. So, at what point if you start breaking a lot, because every repair, unless your coach has a lot of time, you just buy the cheap one, and then you make your coach repair everything. But then if your coach start charging, then it becomes really expensive, right?
Yeah.
So depending on what you want, how serious you want, and just those people who are taking private lesson, and you need to have private lesson because your acceleration is very fast.
Yeah.
If you take private lesson, if you don't take private lesson,
you're probably not going to
you can grow a bit, but the curve is very slow compared
Yeah.
to doing this way, right? So can you still fence? Yes, you can fence, but are you going anywhere? Unless you're super talented, you will not be going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the coach is the one that you need to have a relationship with coach because your coach sees how you accelerate, if you are more active in your fencing, and so on, and you see people take a break, like your coach said, oh, take a 10-minute break, go and get people start chatting, becomes a chat club.
Yeah.
But instead of say, hey, I'm going to take a break, drink some, rest, fit, go back to go fencing.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, but no, it's actually a social club.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen several clubs, over the years, and you can kind of tell if you're a fencer and you've been doing well, you can kind of tell pretty quickly.
Yes.
If you're new, you don't have anything to base it off of, so you can't tell. And but that's whatever. What can you do? Anyway, okay. So, do you have a blade we can look at? Because to me, that first off, a blade, the most important piece. Yes or no?
Yes, because of balance.
Okay. Can you take a blade and walk us through the different parts of the blade?
There's 3 types of weapons.
Yeah, foil.
Foil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And what to look out for when purchasing one. And then also, if you could explain the brand, because you should bring 2. Yeah, show us one and then another one, and some of the differences, and what they mean, how it'll affect the performance of the blade.
So basically, this is a foil blade. One is wired, and one is not wired.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so basically, this is unwired, so it's a bare blade. So there's no tip. The tip is
Show the comparison. This right here, this is a tip with a button on the end. This one has no tip.
yes.
Okay. In running from the tip to the base of the blade, there's a groove in here, and that's the wire that he's talking about. And that wire also helps us keep track of how you score. So,
Okay. So basically, the way we do it is we actually, before we wire it, we clean the blade because
Okay.
when it comes from the factory, it's supposed to be clean, but it's not clean.
yeah, they might be on the shelf getting dust, whatever.
Yeah, dust
Yeah.
and so on will affect how the glue sits.
Okay.
So we clean the blade, we either soak it in acetone or clean the acetone. The acetone will remove a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then after that, we Then the tip has many types of tips. We have basically we have several tips. We carry FWF. We carry, which is a German tip. We carry we don't carry Chinese because the Chinese tips are really bad.
Okay.
Really bad. And then they have the French, which we don't carry it because the way it connects, sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
So German tips and I'm going to classify as European tips.
Okay.
Because PBT, which is one of the latecomer, they actually redesigned the tip for foil.
So let me ask this question. Okay, so you start off with German, then you switch to saying European. So what you're, if I'm correct, what you're saying is the European tips are all based off of the German model.
That's correct.
Okay. So different countries might have different. So originally, most tips were French or German, and the construction of the design of inside the tip and how the wire attached was different. Most people, I would say, probably now use German.
Most people, but there are a lot of them are switching to PBT because of different aspects of it.
So tell us, what are some of the faults in the French tip, and then what are some of the faults of the German tip, and then the improvements that have made into PBT's version of the tip.
Okay, so basically the French tip itself, sometimes it connects because of the inner spring in there. Okay, there's a spring in there, and sometimes it connects, sometimes, and it's harder to connect.
Okay.
Because the spring is slightly longer, and so in order for me to poke you or score a point, I need to do more force instead of 500 grams of force. Okay, that's how we do 500 grams of force. I should hit you and score. Below that, that's no, because it won't pass. So whereas the French is a bit heavier, so I need to use more force to hit you.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't like the French because if I want to hit you, I just want to touch you enough to make a score, not to poke, to stab you.
Right.
I'm not here to stab you, but sometimes we do. So
here, hold this for a second. I'm gonna check something. Yeah, go ahead. We continue.
Yeah. So basically, this is important, and this is very important because of the way it's constructed. Now, so we go to German. German FWF is basically a woman company, and
we can go into that later if you want. But
yeah, okay. So basically, so the German tips itself, they have actually two types, or three types. They have one which is the stainless steel, which is gold in color, but the barrel is very thin, so you actually feel the screws.
Yeah.
But this one you do not feel the screw.
Right.
Okay. So the screws is the one sometimes you get hit, and then guess what? I cannot remove the screw and it breaks.
Yeah.
You rewire.
So for foil, it's we flick a lot, right? What it means is basically you whip the blade around. There's a lot of parries, a lot of blade action, and sometimes the tip gets a lot of impact on it, and the screws stick out past what's called a barrel, which is the sides of the tip, and eventually they'll get knocked off or crushed flat or misshapen. And then if you ever need to do maintenance or work on it, there's a tiny little channel for you to stick a flathead screwdriver in, and you may not be able to because it's not there anymore. So it looks like what's happening here is they've now made it flush where the screw sits inside the tip, so that way that doesn't happen anymore.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes. So the German tips, they actually have three types of it. Just like I said, is one of them is stainless steel, which is slightly harder, and one of them is the regular. They just use, a lot of vendors actually use the regular because it's cheaper, and people buy it. Oh yeah, this is what it is, but they have no idea it's the tip.
Yeah.
That costs more. So then after that, they do have a third one, which is a very thick barrel, which will sit inside, the screw will sit in there. But the problem with that is, after discussing with some coaches, they don't like that. It lasts longer, the extra, it lasts longer. But they don't like it because it makes the weapon heavier when I hit you.
Yeah, so when the blade is moving around, the extra weight, it carries the blade more, and there's a delay in the response of the blade from the extra weight at the end. And in fencing, these split seconds really do matter. And so I've tried them, and I would agree with you. I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it lasts longer for the
It
fencer.
does. It does.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know, depending on how your fencing style is all the tips good? Yeah, all the tips are great. There's no bad tip.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's your fencing style. How do you want to fence? Okay, you want heavier? You want flick a lot? It will bring the extra, the heavier one will bend the blade a bit more compared to this, but you lose control.
Yeah.
So let's talk about PBT. PBT thought about this and they came out a hybrid, made the barrel a bit more thinner and inside the screws. So right now it's a combination of the extra and the stainless steel.
So the material is why they can go thinner. It's
No, it's
the strength.
Yeah, it's the design.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why a lot of people are switching to PBT because it doesn't give the delay, but it also saves the barrel.
Yeah.
That's why we're using PBT right now.
I'll tell you, I have a PBT. One of these you're talking about right now, and I'm on my third blade with that tip.
Okay.
Usually, they'll crack or whatever over time, and you can scrap these, like kind of keep them and buy just the bare blade and do it yourself or whatever. So usually, a lot of times the barrel, from what I can tell from my use, they don't last much longer than the blade.
Yes.
I'm on my third blade with this tip.
Wow.
So yeah,
It's a very good quality.
yeah,
The PBT one is just it's the design, the way they think about things and so on, and they hybrid. They learn, they're willing to change. That's one thing about PBT.
Yeah.
That's why we do carry a lot of PBT stuff because of the quality.
Okay. Now you mentioned FWF is German, Omen. So what do those words mean? Who are they, and what is that?
So basically, when I was in Germany, I actually went to FWF, visited with the owners.
What does FWF stand for?
Fence with fun.
Okay, Fence with Fun.
Yeah, and basically they said, "Oh, do you want to hear a story?" I said, "Sure, I'll hear a story since I'm there." And they said they're actually Oman because Oman moved their operation to China about the before 2000.
Okay.
And because of there's financial advantages for the company, but so eventually they laid off the whole Oman people who has been down there for 20 over years. And what are they going to do? I mean, if you're working for this, you're dedicated your whole life to the company, and they said bye. What are you going to do? The whole factory, they shut down the whole factory. Guess what? They started FWF. And this is the same original people. So, and they reopened the factory, they name it FWF. And they've been operating since.
Smart.
Yeah. So, I mean, guess what? You just lost your job. What are you going to do? Just reopen everything.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, what about like bell guards? What's next on this? So let's work through a blade. So we have a foil, we have a blade. Right now, let's wait on the bell guard. Let's work down it. Okay. So tell us about what does all this mean down here, underneath the bottom of the blade. There's a bunch of stamps.
So under the stamps itself, first thing is this is a FIE. If you have not FIE symbol is for all the international fencing is miraging blades.
What's miraging?
Miraging is the way they make the metal.
Okay.
How they make it goes through fire. The molecules are smaller. In the metal, there's always molecules. How big the air bubbles are. That's where it breaks. So when you heat up a metal, the air bubbles are very tight compared to your non-miraging blades, which is, they don't go through fire, they don't go through, they just cut it, polish it, cut to exactly, and then that's how. So there's a lot of air pockets. That's why the blade breaks. Obviously, it's also cheaper, but the or less expensive. Let's be politically correct. Okay, so whereas the miraging blade, they have to go through fire, and when it comes out, it's red hot. So basically, that's what it is. Now, BF makes it for everybody. A lot of like All Star, Omen.
What does BF stand for?
Bliss Fair.
Okay.
Okay, they make it for a lot of people, and all the blades are the same.
So this one says BF FAE, and then it has PBT.
PBT is the brand,
Right.
the marketer.
Right.
They do marketing.
So no matter what company you buy, as long as it says BF FIE, it's the same.
It's the same.
Okay.
Okay, unless a company say, I want to order, I don't know, a few thousands of things. I want to do this.
Okay.
Then
They'll customize it.
Then they'll
Okay.
customize it.
Okay. Now, so we started this in. We're going to work down our way. Now we have a date. That's the manufacture date.
That's the manufacturing date.
Okay. Then we have a letter D. What does that
Okay.
mean?
So I brought into this one, like foil actually comes in three styles.
Okay.
Okay, D is stiff.
Mhm.
It's a French word. I don't know what it is, but M is medium, and S is soft.
Okay.
So I don't carry S because it's a bit too soft.
Yeah.
And
Most people don't carry us.
yeah, because you lose control. There's no more point control. So basically, this symbol itself is the way how stiff you like it to be. Okay, so and the color I brought in two colors. Is the weight distribution is different.
Is that by purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The weight of actually I'm going to let you test it.
Okay.
Let me get one
Without a tip, yeah.
With a tip.
Okay. Oh, with the tip, and then okay, got it.
So both of them is M.
Both of these are M. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So obviously this one of them is not tape.
How do you want me to test it?
Okay, I just want you to have your own honest opinion.
Okay.
Okay, let's do with the tape. Okay, because the tape does
Yeah.
add weight to it.
Okay.
Okay, if you hold it up at 45 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, and do a small circle. And feel whether you can control the tip better. You have more control on tip better.
I've always liked, just so you know, I've always liked the blue ones more.
No, that's being biased. Okay, you
Okay.
So
What am I doing?
so
Just moving around?
using the same hand and just do a small circle fast and see how you can control the tip.
Okay.
Which is a smaller circle?
I feel like this one is.
The blue one.
Yeah.
Because the blue one is lighter in the tip
Okay.
compared to the weight is all distributed.
It's
Whereas
towards the.
towards the back.
Towards the
Whereas the white one is harder to control the tip because
Okay.
it's heavier up there.
Okay.
And both of them, everything's
kinda-
the same. The barrels are the same.
That makes sense because we talked about the thicker barrels, and when weight's on that end,
Yeah.
it's hard to control.
But for if you put a thick barrel over this one, your blade will
Yeah.
be a big circle.
Yeah.
You cannot draw a small circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the smaller circle it is, lighter the tip is, the faster I'm going to hit you.
Okay. All right. So, bell guards.
Bell guards. There's a lot. Bell guards. There's a lot.
Just tell us the general idea and show us what it looks like. You don't have to go through it because I know there's all different metal sizes.
Yeah, the
That's
metal
crazy, yeah.
metal is basically the same. The size is basically you have like chow size, which is
Yeah.
really small, for people because it does add to the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just pull some. Okay.
and then grip, and then that should be it for the foil, or for the weapon.
Let's talk about the different type of. So this is PBT. This is metal. This is a small,
It's a child's.
a child size. So
Okay. So what age? So okay, what age is considered child? Up to what?
below 10,
Below 10. So is it Y10?
Y10.
Y10 and
Y10
under.
and under.
Okay.
Okay.
This looks so tiny. This pad.
So this is the standard.
Okay. If you can see here, it sits. Here, I'll flush them at the rim. This one is slightly bigger. Okay. Now these look like they're different metals too.
Yes, one is titanium alloy and that's steel,
Okay.
and the weight is different.
Is there a benefit to each one?
Yes,
Okay.
it actually the titanium alloy makes the weapon lighter.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this is also they come in different colors.
Okay.
This is Chinese and it's one piece.
Okay.
So basically, it's a lot heavier.
Now you're saying one piece. So if you look here closely, there's like these little rivets, and basically it's just a base to the bell guard, and this has none. It is basically casted this way.
Yeah.
So
Whereas if you have two pieces and riveted, it's actually stronger.
and there's actually a lip on this one that comes out and then in towards the fencer, and this one just ends. There's no lip going in. Also, yep.
So those are the difference. And then obviously you have your
Pad.
pad.
Yeah.
Pad comes either plastic, clear,
Felt.
felt,
Yeah.
and many
Leather.
colors.
Yeah.
Leather,
Yeah.
there's leather. So, so it's very different. Now, if you ask me longevity, the steel is longer.
Yeah.
It lasts a lot longer. Titanium, because people say titanium is harder. No, it's actually lighter, but not harder.
Yeah.
So basically, steel is harder, lasts longer, but it's a lot heavier. It adds to the weight of your movement. Okay, the best is you have lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Lightsaber is the best. Okay, so anyway, so those are the guard. You asked about grips.
Yeah.
Okay, grips, many types.
Can you show us a painted and non-painted?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna grab a French one too, just so that way I can show.
French.
Do you have one? Okay. In a minute, I'm going to turn the camera around probably later on in the show because he has a whole store here. That's why he keeps. You hear all this rummaging in the background. I mean, there's shelves right there with stacks of jackets and lames and gloves and masks and yeah. So, how long have you been supplying DFW area?
Since 2007,
Long time.
long time.
I would say probably everyone probably comes and gets from you. Most of them,
Yes.
virtually. Yeah.
Yes.
So-
French one. Right there. I'll show you the different.
And not only that, we'll ask this question later, so it's not a big deal. But
So, this is the French.
this is the one that you usually see in the movies. Something
Yes.
like this,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So there's one right and left, and this is PBT
Okay.
metal,
Left-handed.
left-handed.
Okay.
But it's ergonomic.
Okay.
The way it's designed is curved,
I
and
see.
it's not straight as
Yeah.
the
It's better.
Chinese one. Okay. This is a
Right.
German one. It's right.
Okay.
It's slightly smaller,
Uh-huh. Yep.
but it's metal handle, so it
Feels much
balances.
lighter. It's smaller.
It's smaller.
Okay.
So you have the this is called a pistol grip
What's
or
like this?
Visconti. We generalize it as pistol grip because everything's the pistol grip.
Now there's slightly different versions out there. You'll see this is probably the one that's used the most. It is no one, well, for foil, no one really uses these anymore. There might be a few people out there, small percentage use them, but most people use these. And why is that?
Different style of fencing.
Okay. Does that have anything to do with control or anything with the blade?
Both have control
Okay.
depending on how you fence.
Okay.
Okay, some coaches are very good in the French,
Mhm.
and the way they fence is good. It gives you the extra length compared to this.
Right.
Okay, this you can do a lot of blade work.
Yeah.
On this, the pistol grip, the Visconti, we call it. Okay, pistol grip is it's very generalized.
Yeah.
Okay, Visconti is very generalized. It's like a car. You know, like
A sedan.
a sedan.
Yeah.
Okay, but then there's so many brands out there. There's your
Slightly little differences. They get into nuances like the thickness of it, how long this portion of it is. You know, is there a little bit of weight here at the end or not? Like on this one has a bulb at the end, kind of.
and
Yeah.
it's all used differently, and we carry a few. We carry the PBTs. We carry the Chinese pistol grip. We have some other brands, and so on. So, but they're all different. Now, they're insulated, not insulated.
Okay. Which is better? Why?
Epee, we need it to be insulated
Okay.
because you don't want people to touch it.
Okay.
Okay, and then whereas foil usually we use, but you can
This
use
is
for
what I
both.
like. Yeah.
You can use both.
Yeah.
Okay, so and so it's different.
It's which what I find is that insulated basically means it has a coat of paint on it. And I find that
This is insulated.
yeah, this is insulated. I find that your hand will slip and slide more, and you have less of a firm grip on it, especially as you get sweaty, with an insulated one. Whereas with these that are non-insulated, there's more texture to it, and you get a better grip. Also, what depends is on your glove. Some gloves have little silicone beads or little markings on it, or have certain material on the palm side, so that you do grab it better. But even with that said, even with that being said, I still find at the end of the day, glove or no glove, I get better grip with this. Personally, me. Yeah. So
Yes, some that's
Yeah.
It's true.
okay.
But then epee you want insulated because no one can hit it. If
Yeah.
not, you get score point.
Yeah. Okay, so we've walked through the blade, which was very educational. Hope it helps people out there. Okay, so let's go back to some stuff we were talking about earlier. You're a vendor,
Yes.
right? What else do you do? There's another thing you do that's affected a lot of clubs that's helped, right?
Yes.
And they wouldn't be here probably without you, at least in their current state.
So basically, I help clubs develop the clubs. I help design it.
Mhm.
I help them lay down the floors. We offer all the metal strips.
Yeah.
We can get that, and at a lot good prices. Okay, so and we help the club repair, and especially in the DFW, and the
California
rails-
too.
California, yeah.
Yeah,
We
California.
help them design, and
Yeah.
we lay down the floors for them, and we also run all the wires for them. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the biggest club you've done? Like how many strips?
20.
That's a lot. That's a lot of strips.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So it's been it's good, but it's not often because
Yeah.
it's expensive. It's really expensive for clubs to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any future plans coming up, or just keep on keeping on? Any big changes you plan on making soon, or expanding, or anything like that?
Not planning to expand and so on because the way I do, I love the sport. I mean,
Interesting.
is there? People ask me, "Oh yeah, there's plenty of money." No, it's not really a lot of money in it. Just that if you don't love the sport, and you're not going to do that far, because my main thing is to see the kids grow up.
Yeah.
Since young, you've been with me for a while.
I've bought from you and known you for 24 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
A long time.
And I see you being successful today.
Yeah.
I love seeing the achievement from what they are to what they will become. I have students which are, start 13 years old. Today they are attorneys, they're lawyers, they're doctors. So I see the development in them, and it gives me great satisfaction just to see that. I say, great, I was part of their life to help them move on and achieve great success. That's the important part.
Cool. Okay, so you brought up a good topic. Cost. Expensive. Okay, I will say this. Fencing in the past, it has gone increasingly expensive. From once I started, it wasn't super cheap then. It's gotten more expensive. So, you said it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't. I agree. But walk us through, like, what about fencing makes it so expensive? Is it something that should scare people off? Is it something that people should be prepared, like, coming into it? What do you suggest as far as this is concerned, like, as a consumer, as a new person? People that already, I think they kind of already know what the deal is. But what do you think?
Let me start off with something. I said, this is America we are in.
Okay.
Which sport is not expensive?
So there's an argument to be made. I'll say this. Any sport offered through your public school system that your kid can participate in is going to be infinitely cheaper than any club sport. Now, we're talking about you're not going to some higher level specialized training outside of school, right? Just whatever. If your school offers basketball, for example, you can play basketball for essentially free. Now, I understand. Yeah,
Yes.
I get it, Mom. You gotta buy the snacks. You gotta buy the shorts, the shoes. I get it. I understand, but there's still going to be a difference between, because the school's going to provide, like, they're going to organize the tournaments for the kid.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. So, basketball, we can be really, say, if you don't want to be good at it, and you can buy a basketball and play at home.
Right.
But are you going to go join the NFL or
Right.
the NBA, or you won't be? I mean, let's be
Right.
straightforward with this,
100%,
okay?
yeah.
So even fencing, I get to pick up any stick and play like the Chinese kung fu, a stick. You don't need fencing. You don't need. But what are you learning? Are you learning discipline? I can take a stick and whack the weeds and so on. Am I learning anything? Am I learning discipline? Am I learning the art of it? No matter what sport, it's going to be expensive if you want to be good. Now, yes, fencing is an elite sport, but it's not really elite because what is it for the future? As earlier stated, I have 2 kids. Decision making in life. What do you want to achieve? Some people say, I don't need to play sports and so on, and I still can achieve it. I said, yeah, you can. You can. If it's all based on your heart, what you want to do. But one thing about fencing, is it expensive? Not really. If you take it as a sport, basketball, if you take it as a sport, a real sport, it's not cheap.
So let's walk us through this, because I think there's different aspects to this, right? So there's the club fees, right? There's
Yes.
private lessons.
Yes.
There's equipment, and the big one, travel.
It's competition.
Okay, so I want to go through each one of these from your perspective. I'll tell you this personal quick side note on my story. I didn't want to do fencing at first because I thought it was for rich people, and then my mother pushed me into it, and then I said fine, I did it, and day one I fell in love with it, and I found out no, it wasn't just for the rich people. It wasn't like that at all. So yeah, so anyway, walk me through kind of how that could like that process works with the different areas.
So basically, there's you need to fall in love with fencing in order to be good in any
Yeah.
sport. You
Yeah.
have to fall in love. You say, look, this is my sport. This is what I want to do, and you can fence to 80 years old. We have U.S. fencing.
I have a 70-something-year-old that emailed me yesterday wanted to come by and try us
Right.
out.
Veterans.
Yeah.
You can fence to 80 years old. U.S. fencing has our summer nationals. We have the competition.
There's
80
even
years
a,
old.
there's even a World Cup for this as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
veterans. So
Yeah.
you can fence. It's not say, oh, the younger days we're going to fence, but then guess what? We are not going to fence
Yeah.
after college or whatever. My son fenced, and yeah, he's not fencing right now because too busy at work. He's got
Sure.
life. And whereas the take is this: is fencing really expensive? No, fencing is not really expensive. If you want to learn fencing, get it from the clubs. I mean, the clubs are they're here to help your student. The clubs are here. I mean, you don't need to buy any equipment. Go attend the beginner class.
Yep.
You don't need any equipment. Yeah, if you
Yep.
think hygiene, just buy masks and But if you don't need that, the clubs will supply the mask, the jacket, the safety, all the safety equipment and so on for your child to fence.
And
And
usually at no cost.
at no cost.
Usually, not every club, depends where you live, the club near you, whatever. But usually, it's pretty standard practice in fencing that there's what's called club equipment, and the club is like anyone's free to use it. That's pretty standard.
Yes, pretty
Okay.
standard.
Okay.
Okay. And maybe some clubs will have it's a nominal fee because they have to maintain equipment.
Yeah.
There's some time you have to pay for utilities, and so there might be minimum fee.
Yeah.
Okay, but after that, we will see whether the student will have an interest on don't interest. A lot of people during beginners class they're finding themselves. So when they're finding themselves, it's no matter which sport, they want it to be good. Sure, let's do it. If they have no interest, no point going on.
Well, okay. So, what would it cost? So, I go back to the costing on the equipment, right? Well, no. Let's go. Well, the clubs kind of roll over the board, so we'll skip that part. But for the equipment, what does it cost to get, I guess, geared up for one person, beginner entry, cheap stuff, everything that they could possibly need, 2 body cords, 2 mask cords, a mask, the whole thing, the
So
whole set.
if you go on the cheap side, I'm just going to give you a range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It can go as low as, say, your mask, your jacket, your patch gun, your pants, no shoes. Shoes you don't need to buy shoes yet until you
Yep.
really become better. It could be about, so you don't need 2 body cords. You need one body cord just to fence electric on
Yeah,
and the lame
Yeah.
for foil, and $400.
Okay.
I mean,
How long will that stuff last you?
a while if you take care of it. If you don't take care of it, and depends on how you fence also. But if you just say, "Oh, I'm going to just throw my mask around and so on," it's gonna break.
I'll say this. So in that kit, you get, like he said, everything you need. The 2 things that are sometimes going to happen to is going to be the blade and the body cord.
Yes,
Everything else could probably last you,
your whole fencing life.
basically, as long as you take care of it, it could. And if you don't take care of it, it's still probably going to last you like 5-10 years. I mean, it depends on like how you store it and whatever. But I'm talking about like leaving it if your club has lockers, leaving it in the locker, or just throwing it in the garage in the corner, whatever. You don't have to treat it that great. It'll probably last you a while. But
The blades will break.
the cheap blades, they'll break in about what's the lifespan of a cheap blade?
Compared to
Like compared to like one of these BFs, because these are actually, I would say, for people who fence regularly, this is the go-to, these blades, but one that isn't this.
the lifespan, but 3 to 4 times.
Okay. So
You
is
know.
it like 3 months, 2 months? How often do they fence?
So
you?
if this, say example, this barraging blade lasts
Yeah.
1 year,
Okay.
the other one will last you 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. So if this lasts you 2 years, then that will last you but 3 to 4 times.
That's fencing like 3 times a week minimum, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
Okay. And also, does it matter the age of the user? Like a kid who's 10
Yeah.
versus an adult.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. This is definitely okay.
Okay.
So I will not say the age. I'm talking about the size of the kid
Or strength.
or the strength of the kid, because I have 12 years old, very small. 12 years old. Like yesterday came in. I said, "How old are you?" 11. He said, he's bigger than me. It's like based on the size, not age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So the bigger you are, the stronger you are, and when you're stronger, you tend to say, example, I'm going to use the cheaper weapon.
Mhm.
It will not last that long compared to
Yeah.
somebody who is small, because they don't have the strength. It's the way you hit the thing, the way you. I mean, there's a lot of way why the weapon breaks.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's based on size,
Okay.
and strength.
Now, what is like? Okay, so a solid piece of fencing for somebody who's like competing regularly, nationals, everything like that. Okay, how much does that set cost?
So
Same like one body core, like same equipment.
it can go as high as, I mean, depending on what whether you want FIE,
Right.
and so on, it can go to $1,500.
It can.
it
I
can.
don't think it normally does, unless they just want to.
I said I'm giving you the range that it can go that expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like example, some of the handles, it's $60.
Yeah.
It's $60 for one.
How much does this one cost?
$10.
Okay.
But it can go to, some brands can go to $60.
Yeah.
But the $60 has the own spot. It's very, very light.
Yeah.
It's very different. So you can go crazy.
The other thing too about these grips, you can buy the cheapest one that you can find, or you can buy the $60 one. They're gonna last you your whole fencing life.
Yeah, this will not break. I mean,
Yeah.
I will not say it will not break. It's very hard to break.
I actually had one that broke one time, and I'll tell you, it was one of my very first ones. It was given to me for free, and it was already like 20 years old, and I used it for like 6 years before it broke.
Yeah,
So yeah,
eventually it will break,
Yeah.
but you know because it goes through quite a bit of abuse
Yeah.
on the hand. Sometimes you drop on the this way, and
Sure.
it can crack because it's molded. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But okay, so we can go as high as 15, but also be as low as
$400.
right around the same price as the beginner set,
Yes.
depending on what you get and
Depending
how
on
you
what
piece
you get,
it,
yeah.
how you piece it. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. And also, that stuff will last you your whole fencing career, except for the blade and the wire.
Blade and or lamé. Lamé.
Oh, lamé. Yeah, lamé.
Lamé is your touch
Yeah.
lamé, unless you fence épée, épée, and make sure that you don't grow.
Okay.
If you grow,
Right.
you have to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about, so we skip past the club stuff and the lesson stuff because that's all very independent and really like, we're in Texas. If you live in New York, it's going to be way more, right? So
Yes.
we'll put that to the side. So let's go over travel. That to me, I think that's the big one that gets everybody, is the travel.
Yes.
How expensive is that? Does it have to be? So there's local, divisional, regional, super regional, national, international. Should everybody attack everything all at once?
No, if you're big, so if you're
Yeah.
a beginner, I will encourage you just to go to your local tournaments. Don't because you want experience.
Right.
Okay, if you are a beginner and you go to nationals, most likely you get roasted. Okay?
Yeah.
You get roasted because the people that spend this money going to nationals, they are already at certain level.
Yeah.
Okay? But if the nationals in your city, just go for it.
The experience.
For the experience.
Yeah.
I got roasted. Okay? It's okay, but I don't spend a lot. But do all the driving, and you can drive 4 hours, 5 hours. That is called local.
So we're here in DFW specific. Yeah. So anything from Dallas Fort Worth, right, down to Austin, Houston, San Antonio, we consider that local, right?
Yeah.
So if it's within 3-4 hours, it's local. I know that's a surprise to some people, not everybody, but to be honest, I mean, you can leave the same morning, come back the same day if you really, really wanted to.
Yes.
I've done it. I don't know how many times. It's not fun, but if it needs to be done, we do it. Um, so that's local. And what is the cost of local tournaments?
Local tournaments, you have competition fees. Usually range about $30 to $50, depending.
Yep.
I
For
mean,
one
that's
event.
for one event.
Yeah.
Then you have a registration fee.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say that price is including the event and the registration fee.
Okay.
I would say this, but yeah,
It's sometimes
different.
there's a registration fee, a nominal one, and then you have the event fee.
Right.
Right. So
think of it like this. So there's different age groups that you can compete in. So let's say if you're 10-year-old, the 10-year-old can also compete in Y12. You can always fence up. You can't fence down. There's a limit to how far you can go up, but nonetheless you can fence up. So think of it, the registration fee is your ticket into the carnival, but the event fee is a ticket for each ride once you're inside. That's the greatest way to think about it.
yes, definitely. So but sometimes they don't charge the registration fee. It's part of the thing, depending on the competition. So that's my advice, is to go to all the local, all the RYC. Obviously, the younger people cannot go. I mean, it depends on your age.
What about the SYC?
SYC, you should go.
Yeah.
Because it's a mini nationals.
That's what I say. That's exactly what I say, actually.
It's a mini national.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all types of people all coming in through different.
Okay. So if one's coming through your city, you should go. Let's say you're a beginner, and all your clubmates are going, but they're more experienced, and it's like halfway across the country. Should you go?
If money is no issue, go for it.
Yeah.
Money no issue, just go for it, because it's the experience. Because we are not, the child is not getting younger.
Yeah.
We're all getting older, but the experiences which we cultivate and we go for it, you know, I'm going to say your child will be, if they really have a passion, if they lose, they'll be crying. They'll be crying because it's a good thing. Leave them alone. Let them cry because they are frustrated. Say, why didn't I do well, and so on. But as parents, we have to encourage them. Say, hey, don't worry about it. You did well. Let's move on and learn from our mistakes.
This is actually something that drew me to the sport, is that, you know, it's an individual sport, and it's probably true for all of them, but this is my experience with fencing. So in team sports, you can win or lose because somebody else, quite frankly, right? You're not the star player, or you're the worst player, or you're the star player. Either way, you can win or lose because of somebody else. In an individual sport, well, you have yourself to blame. You know what I mean?
The decision is yours.
Yeah. Now, it could have been that day you woke up with a tummy ache. It could be you're just off that day. It could be that you haven't trained hard. Whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, like, you won and it was you, or you lost and it was you. You know, and that's a level of responsibility I think is good for kids to learn, for sure. You know. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I mean that's really true.
Yeah.
Because fencing is, you make the decision. The fencer don't you know, sometimes we look at the coach. What are you going to do? The coach said, just do it. You've been training for so long. Just execute it, right?
Yeah.
And you are on your own. In life, the same thing. When they all grow old, like my kids, they grow up, they make a decision in life, and when they make a decision, either good or bad, there's consequences.
Right.
No matter what decision you make, there's consequences. Whether it's good or bad, consequences. Bad decision, bad consequence. Good decision, good consequence. Right?
Right.
I mean, that's how life is. So fencing is to, if you make a bad decision, the fencer actually will think that, okay, this is what, not so good. Let's see how I'm going to correct it. Because all the techniques which the coach impart to the fencer is to make decision. How you're going to modify your decision, or how you can modify so that you can win.
Yeah, you know, so like where we're at, what we try to do is we try to get the kids in the competition. I mean, obviously, if people, you know, some people don't want to do them, and that's fine. Some people do. For the ones that do, we try to get them in the competition basically as quick as possible. Even if they're not ready, if one's local or near,
Go for it.
100%. There's several reasons why. One is, let's say wherever club you're at, whatever age groups you have at your club, let's say one day your kid becomes the best in that club. Well, that's just that club, right?
That's the club.
That's just the club. And maybe they do really good at the club, but they don't do at competitions because they're more comfortable, they're not nervous, they know everyone there, whatever it is, right? Also, when you put somebody into a situation where maybe they are or are not ready for, you can see how they act under pressure. And so as a coach, we like to know that about the students,
Yes.
right? Because then when we do pressure them or we're going to tournaments in the future, we know how they respond to different things and we can kind of guide them through the process. But that's one of the reasons we like to get them in there as quick as possible. I will say this, the one thing that kind of gets kind of not in the way is that we go back to the club equipment. If they don't have their own equipment, it gets kind of hard because club equipment isn't always working at 100% capacity, and there may not be enough for everyone at every event, every tournament, all the time.
Okay, club
That's the only
equipment, I might be wrong. Club equipment is not the best equipment.
Yeah, that's
So
just
it's very difficult to fence with club equipment because now, club equipment, we want it to last the
Let me
longest.
check something. Go ahead.
And we also want it to last the longest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. We want it to but it's heavy. Most of the club equipments are heavy.
Yeah, and also it's most clubs get their equipment this way. Little Susie, little Timmy decide to start fencing. They start when they're 10, 12, 8, whatever, right? And then they start to grow. And then turns out the LeMay doesn't fit anymore. You know what? It has a dead spot anyway. No one's going to buy it. Hey, club, do you want it?
Club will take it.
And club will always take it. So that's usually how it happens. So like we have LeMays that work perfectly. We have LeMays that are like there's not one good spot on it, right? We try to cycle them out and everything like that, but that's how most clubs get their equipment. They do buy stuff as they need it, but usually it's like no one's gonna buy used fencing equipment. Usually,
Yes.
not someone who's already fencing. Now, new fencer. If you want to buy used equipment, not a bad deal, but you're really not saving money. I'll say that you're probably really not going to save money.
Yeah. Just buy new equipment.
Yeah, buy cheap new equipment if you're brand new.
Yes.
Yeah, cheap new equipment. But yeah. So sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So competition important. That's where we can see which level you are in, or with if it's a RYC, you see okay, this is within the region. Then we know where you're standing. Okay. Yes, sometimes they have an off day. You know, I said, I don't feel. Even though he's good, off day, because at this age, most of the people are not matured enough.
Right.
Okay. Because when my son was fencing, I said, wait, today he's up to next day he's down, up, and it's a yo-yo.
Yep.
Okay. When then he went to college and fenced in college, it's more matured.
Yep.
It's more stable. Means his up and down is not so much of a swing. Not the yo-yo, because he still swing? Yeah, he does, but it's smaller swing that he can recover faster.
Yeah. There's also like when you let's say when you become a fencer and this what I'll call an established fencer. I'm not saying you're the best you've ever been or will be, but you understand what's going on a deeper level, at least to some degree. From that point on, even if you're to walk away and come back after kind of getting back into it, there's a certain level basically you're never going to drop below.
Yes, that's correct.
That's
definitely correct.
You're just never going to drop below. I mean, age might get to you, right? Something like that, but in general, there's a certain level you're just not going to fall below.
Yes.
So, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fencing is great. I think it's the best weight loss program you can get.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's a weight loss program.
I would agree.
And meantime, while losing weight, you can have fun also.
Yeah.
Stabbing people.
Yeah,
You see.
Yeah. And you can go with it as far as you really want to go.
Yes.
You know, there's people who never wanted to be something more than exercise, and they even started young, and that's it. There's people who are in it for 4 years, decide they want to start becoming competitive, and they start. They may choose to do it at their adult age. Maybe there's people who, came in day one, want to be competitive. And that's how, and they're able to do that. So, yeah, but I'm sure your local club, wherever you are, has people that are competitive and that are not competitive. Perfectly fine, and I bet they even practice together, fence each other, and train together, at least somewhat. So,
It's
yeah,
a great thing. It's a
yeah,
fantastic thing.
yeah,
So really encourage people who, when you are fencing, go for competition. Okay, get roasted, build self esteem. That's one thing I see.
yeah,
Just build your self esteem and confidence level and so on. The confidence level is something which I cannot say. Oh, take a blue pill.
yeah,
Can't do that.
yeah,
It's through a lot of disappointment, a lot of training. Then you get your confidence.
yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got poke here. I got stab here. Oh yeah, ouchie. But then you build your confidence.
And you'll see a fencer as they get more experience, something like will click, like from one point to the next point, or one match to the next point, and all of a sudden dots will start to connect, and then they just
Yes.
take a big leap, and then they're like that for a while, maybe a little bit up, down, whatever, and then something else clicks, and then they jump up again, and you'll see like a progression, kind of like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Or the growth.
yeah.
So go for competition. Encourage that. Now, if you go to nationals, the NAC, which is NAC, is North American Cup. It gets a bit expensive. It does, because if you are most of the NACs, the way they do it is it's not in really big cities. They don't hold it in San Francisco or New York.
Yeah.
I haven't been to New York.
They used to do it in Miami.
Miami is not that expensive.
No. I mean, like a big city. They used to do it like in a big city.
No, I'm talking about expensive city.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like
yeah,
San Francisco. Actually,
yeah.
San Francisco, they had one.
Sacramento. They used to Sacramento.
Sacramento is cheaper.
Then San Francisco. Yeah.
Actually, we did had one in San Francisco. We did. Yeah. It's in Fort Mason before.
Okay.
It was very early, but
Okay.
it was expensive.
Yeah.
Because the air flights will be cheaper because a lot of people are going to San Francisco, SFO, or Oakland or San Jose, but other things are more expensive. Your hotels are more expensive. Your eating is more expensive, and but the way US fencing does is because they're always off season in a destination.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper on the convention center. It's not free. People think, oh yeah, it's not free, but it's off season, cheaper. That's why they still can keep the rates a bit lower.
Yeah.
Now, but the flights are expensive, because if you go to, I don't know, Billings, Minnesota,
Okay.
there's one flight going in there. so everyone is fighting for then the price goes up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's different from if you go to a big city like San Francisco, New York. There's like hundreds.
Or you
of
might
flights.
fly into the main city. I mean, and then fly out to like connect with a connecting flight to
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
Might do something like that.
Something. So it gets expensive. So on the average, if you do that, it's about about $400-$500
For what?
airfare
Oh yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
flying. But obviously, if you want to drive,
You can save some money. You could. Depending where you live. Depending
depends
where it is.
on if you're two people.
Because you also save on the taxis and Ubers and everything like that if you drive.
Yeah, you drive, you save on
There are ways though. Yeah.
some transportation,
Yeah.
you save.
Yeah.
But if you just flying
bag fees, carrying the big bag.
yeah,
A lot of times there's a charge for that. So
yeah.
yeah.
So that's a lot of cost to it if you're going for a national tournament.
Yeah.
So that's expensive compared to relatively to your equipment.
Okay, cool. All right. So, let me see here. Is there any? So I know we talked a lot about this, but is there any philosophies you'd like to point out that you've learned in fencing or you advise anyone on?
Most important, the philosophy is the training of the mind.
Okay.
Because decision making. Okay. Discipline.
Yep.
Those are something which we try to impart to our kids. Discipline, listen, make decision. Because I cannot be a helicopter parent. I cannot always be there for my kids. Even when they grow up, one day I'll die, but they have to make their own decision. Fencing does bring them faster in making decision, and most of them they do pretty well in school
Yeah.
because it's the development of the mind.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't develop the mind, I just play computer games. You know,
What okay. What is there anything you would change about the sport?
sorry,
Is there anything you would change about the sport?
will change.
Is there anything that you would like to change?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. Hold that thought. Here, tell us. Tell us what you're willing to say or what you think you can say like in a sentence or two.
Okay, so I'm going to say it as on a vendor part of it is that I wish that people are more educated in buying equipment. A lot of vendors don't. They let you pick what you want, but they don't educate you.
Yeah.
I think education is something which is very important. You don't jump into it and say, oh, that this person say so, that person say so, and some vendors tell half truths. They advertise half truths.
Yeah.
Which that's not what it should be. Fencing should be honest, okay, and fencing should be competitive, but we fencing also have relationships. We build relationships, or my kids build relationships throughout the fencing years. Do not go say, oh, my club against that club or what. Let's stop all the politics in fencing. Let's focus on our kids. The kids are important. I mean, that's the future of
Right.
their future, our future and their future. Focus on that. Stop playing politics, which that there's a lot in every sport. Okay, so does it help your student or your child? No, it doesn't. Focus on the sport, discipline, develop the sport, develop your mental, develop character, develop self-esteem, develop confidence. That's what I want for the sport.
But by the way, I wanted to ask you. I was going to ask you. I will ask you now. So, I'm doing several seminars, at least at my club, for new people who things to look out for, like as they progress. One of them is how to pick out equipment, like things they should look for in the tip when they're going through everything. So, will you come do that whenever we're ready?
I'll go down there definitely because it's all part of education.
Yeah.
I'm here to educate, not to say people want money first instead of education. No, yeah, it has to be the reverse. You need to educate the people, then they're willing to say, oh, this equipment is good. Why some are not good? I'll point those things up to you. I'll show you them. Yes, it's all good, but some are better.
Yeah.
Because as a fencer, little bits you want advantages.
Yeah.
Okay, you want your spring to just touch people and you score a point, or do you want something which is very heavy? I need to poke you so hard that create a bruise to score a point, or just touch you. There's all advantages, but there's a cost factor to it.
Okay. Just because I'm curious now, what other things would you change about the sport? Because it looked like you had a lot that you wanted to unload, and I want to know what else is in there.
Basically, the point is stop playing politics.
Okay. Who are you speaking to right now? Because I feel like you're speaking to somebody.
I'll not mention anything, but
you don't have to say names. There's like a section. Are you speaking to coaches, clubs, USFA, USFCA? Who are you talking to right now?
Everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Because stop playing politics, but focus on the child. Be the best on who you are. Okay. Don't teach people how to cheat in the sport. Be honest. Hey, this is my hard work. This is what you can be.
When you say cheat, you mean find shortcuts, or cheat as in like putting little switches in the thing?
Switches also. I mean, okay. People got caught before.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago, but it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, people say, "Oh no, it's not," and they and you know, eventually I do hope AI one day AI will be the ref.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
has no bias. AI is a machine.
Yeah.
You say, okay, this is the movement and so on, and
Okay.
the point goes to that. There's no being biased.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I want to say.
I hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
means it's a neutral party, not say, oh, I know you and oh this club, and the coach is yelling at the ref. It happens. The
Yeah.
coach is yelling at the ref, saying, how come you didn't see this? This is but AI, no feelings, neutral. This is your touch. This is not the playback is like this, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
No, neutral.
Okay. And okay, two more questions. Is there anyone in the sport you would like to recognize?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think my coach and Voldak.
Okay.
I mean he helped me during the time in my lowest part of my life. He actually encouraged me, and without him, I will not be in the sport of fencing.
Yeah.
Okay, because of him, he actually encouraged me. I mean, he doesn't realize that, but today, you know, if he does come back to the sport, I will support him, because you don't just take things for granted in life. Don't take things for granted, because the people that help you in moving on to your life is the person that without the person you never move on.
Yeah.
Right? You would be stuck in where you are, but because of him, I moved on to be a better person.
For those that don't know, Voltic is a legendary saber coach.
Yes.
Very has very good results.
Yeah.
With his fencers. Yeah.
So I mean that's one person which I do really respect, and he really pours out his heart to help the fencer,
Yeah.
or to help the person, you know, whether in fencing or not in life, you know. So I do encourage coaches, do that for your people. Don't always look at, oh, you need to pay me fees and whatever. They will come back. They'll be very eternally grateful.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
So, you know, say in the sport fencing, yeah, there's a lot of people to recognize. I mean, all the coaches in the DFW, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
They are. No matter which weapon you are fencing, they really. I see that everyone in the DFW, actually, the coaches are pouring out their heart to the people. Say, look, I'm going to down there to help you. And like you're there to help your people. Say, look, this is what I want to develop you as, to become a good fencer, a good person, discipline, and so on. I mean, all the coaches down here in the DFW is great. That's what we need. This is exactly what we need.
Yeah. Okay. What are your life goals aside of fencing?
Develop better product.
Okay. Fencing products?
Fencing products, or
Outside of fencing.
outside fencing, travel.
Okay.
I love traveling.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, are you in town?" I said, "Sorry, I'm in this part of the world." You know, that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love to see places. I like adventure.
Yeah.
You know, I visit a lot of clubs all over the world. Also, I will see how they do things, how the clubs are. Some are wireless or totally wireless. They have their own problems.
Yeah.
Okay, wired also have their own problems.
Yeah.
But everyone has their own problems.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I was back in Singapore.
Which is where you're from.
Yeah, that's where I'm from,
Yeah.
Singapore. And I visited the club. The coach was like, "Oh, I know you," and so it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And you know, it's very welcoming, and it's a great thing.
That's good. All right, Ted. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking time with me today.